But along the way, a lot of disappointments, a lot of adversity. But when one door closed, I just tried to work hard enough to open up another one. Well, life was difficult in one sense because we weren't a well-to-do family. My dad was a self-employed carpenter. He sixth grade education. My mom didn't have any education, so we weren't a very well-to-do family from a financial standpoint. Lafitte Projects was a tough place to grow up. Crime infested, drug infested. But at the same time, the flip side of that was my parents had master's degrees, doctorate degrees in love and discipline. So that really had an impact on my life in terms of how I function in the classroom and on the athletic field. So my body was in the Lafitte Housing Project, but my mind wasn't there. And that had a lot to do with the way my parents raised me. Well, along the way, there were a lot of stops and difficulties. At St. Augustine High School, I was basically the 14th man on our team. I didn't get a chance to play until the playoffs when I was starting point guard. I got suspended. I got one scholarship offer during the late period of recruiting, and then I ended up transferring to Southern University. Played 2 years there. And it was magical playing for Coach Ben Jobe, high-powered offense. We were always one of the top schools in scoring in the nation. I led the nation in assists. But the byproduct of that was I didn't get drafted. My name didn't get called on draft day. So I went and tried out for the Seattle Supersonics. This was during the latter part of October of 1988. So we had been in camp for 4 weeks. And when we arrived at practice, I started counting. And I was like, where's everybody else? And I started counting, it was only 12 guys. So Bernie Bickerstaff, who was the coach, said, okay, let's bring it in the middle of the floor. And he said, congratulations. They called me AJ. Congratulations, you made the team. You earned it. And man, I started running around the gym. I was so excited. And I was just so pumped up about making that team, how I beat out 11 other guys to make the one slot that they had available on that team. The training in terms from being a player to a coach started with Ben Jobe at Southern University in 1986 when we met. As we started to build our relationship, I would go in his office and show him plays that I like to run, and during timeouts, he would just sit there and he would say, AJ, you talk to the team, what do we need to do? So my training started in terms of a coach in college. And as time went on and I met coaches like Greg Popovich, the Hall of Fame coach Don Nelson, they would allow me to actually put the team through practices even when I was a player. So the transition from being a player to coach was pretty seamless. So when I retired in 2004, or prior to retiring, I was signed on to be a player coach for the Dallas Mavericks, which had happened in the NBA for a long period of time. And then finally, later on in October of 2004, I said, you know what? I called Mark Cuban, called Don Nelson, we need to drop the player part. I can't play anymore. I want to become a full-time coach. And I was Don Nelson's head assistant coach. He resigned in March of 2005, and Mark Cuban elevated me to become the new head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of people are wondering, Avery, why Alabama and why now? Do you understand Alabama's recent history in terms of their lack of success in basketball? Do you understand how prolific and successful the football program is? Do you understand that you're going to be fighting an uphill battle trying to change the mind and culture as it relates to basketball? So why Alabama and why now? See, basically, it's all about three things. One is all about vision. What do you see? I see the University of Alabama becoming an elite basketball program. I have a vision for it. Two, you have to make an investment. Our administration and donors, and they're willing to make an investment unlike at any time in the history of University of Alabama. And 3, execution. I'm going to make sure that this plan is executed in ways that our fans, administration, alumni, and people on the outside can see that there's going to be a significant change in direction and purpose, where it's a perennial NCAA tournament team, where we have an opportunity to get to the Final Four, to compete for championships. And that's what it's all about. It's about vision, it's about making an investment, and it's about execution. That's why I took this job.